guys, this is Miss Gilpatrick and we're back in my kitchen for week 3 of at-home learning for art class. So this week I thought it would be really fun if we did something new. We're going to be creating origami flower gardens. So if you've never done origami before, buckle up because this is going to be super fun. All you need is some colorful paper. If you don't have the colors I have, use what you've got. You're going to need some glue and some scissors and crayons. So if you don't have everything, that's okay. Use what you have and we're gonna have a lot of fun doing it. Okay, so here we go. Hi everyone. Today we're gonna be making origami flower gardens. So I already have a white piece of construction paper. You could use copy paper or any kind of paper you have. This is gonna be our background. So we aren't going to tend to this yet, but I'm gonna leave it here just to get us started. Some other colored pieces of paper that I'll be using today are purple, red, yellow, and green. Green is the only one that's really more necessary because in our flower gardens we're going to use this for our stems and our flower petals. No, our leaves for our flowers. So these are going to be what we are going to be using to make our origami flowers. So if you don't have purple or red or yellow, you can use any colors. It absolutely depends on what you like. Even if you have these colors but you prefer pink or orange or blue, go for it. You don't have to do the same colors that I have. Like I said, the green is more necessary for our stems and our leaves, but if you don't have green, then use what you have. That's totally fine. So I'm gonna set these aside because when we are doing origami, we are actually going to need squares. So I took my large sheets of paper of my purple, my red, and my yellow, and I went ahead and I used what we had at our house, a measuring tape. So we are actually going to create 3-inch by 3-inch squares. So this is where, kids, if you need help, grab a parent. Have them help you measure these squares and cut them out. It is very important that our pieces of paper are squares and not rectangles because when we fold them, they need to be equal on all of our sides for them to come out correct. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and get started. This is a super easy origami lesson. So go ahead and start with your first color that you have. I'm gonna start with purple and I'm gonna turn it on its diagonal so it almost looks like a diamond. And I'm gonna take this bottom corner and I'm gonna fold it up and we're gonna just make this a triangle. And I'm gonna fold it on its crease right there. Okay. Okay, after that, we are gonna put our finger in the middle of the bottom line of our triangle and we're gonna fold it over and make another triangle that's even smaller. Okay, we're gonna crease that as well. Okay, but then we're gonna open it back up to this larger triangle. Okay, so there's a crease in the middle and then we are going to open it back up. All right, so I'm gonna continue to put my finger in the middle of that triangle and what we are gonna do is we're gonna take this corner and I'm just gonna curve it up to where it kind of creases right there in the middle and then I'm going to fold it in. And then I'm gonna do the exact same thing on this side, right here. And then I'm gonna fold that as well. Okay. So this is that was the last step for the folding of our origami flowers. And aren't they cute? Now, the problem is that we don't want them to unfold. And so I'm actually going to take my stick glue and I'm gonna put some glue on the inside of both of those petals that we folded. And I'm gonna fold them in. And then what I suggest you do is you set this aside and set something heavy on top of it, like a cup or anything that you have sitting around. I did this earlier with mine and they did awesome. But yes, just like take your flower and then set something on top of it. That way that those petals will stick. Leave that for about 10 minutes and then it will dry so that the stick glue sticks that paper together. So next we're gonna move on and do the exact same step with our red paper and our yellow paper. So we're going to take the bottom of our red paper, and we're gonna fold it in to make that larger triangle that we just did with our purple. Next, we're gonna fold it over to make that second triangle. Increase that. We're gonna open it back up again. And then I'm gonna fold in each side to make it into my flower. Okay, there's my red flower. So again, we're gonna take our stick glue. I'm going to put a little bit of glue on either side of that of those petals, and then I'm gonna fold it in. And then again, we're gonna get something heavy. I've got a water bottle sitting right here, so I'm just gonna stick that water bottle on top of my flower and let it dry. Okay. And then last but not least, get your third color. So for me, it's yellow. And I'm gonna fold that in to make my larger triangle. And I'm gonna fold it to the side to make my second triangle. I'm gonna open it up. Okay, next I'm gonna stick my finger in the middle and help it curl up. And I'm gonna do the same on the other side. You guys should be pros at this by now. We're just repeating the same steps for each color, okay? And then we'll take our glue and we'll do the same thing that we just did with our first two flowers, and we will fold it in so that it sticks. And then I'm gonna find something like this to set it on top to help it dry and to stick. Okay, so I've actually done this already, as I mentioned, with my flowers. So I have these that have already dried. They've been sitting with a cup on top of them, and so they are ready to go. So as I said earlier, this is going to be our background. Our background is what we will be using to glue everything onto. But before I do that, I want to take my green sheet of paper, and what I want to do is I want to turn it landscape so that it's long, and I want to take my scissors and I'm going to cut some strips for stems. Okay, so I'm going to go about halfway or a little bit further, and I'm going to make 3 stems, and all of these are going to be different heights. So they shouldn't be too thick or too thin, and they shouldn't be too tall. We want them to be about halfway up this paper or less. Okay, so each of those are different heights. These will serve as our stems for our flowers that we're gonna use to glue on our paper. Okay, I've also taken my green sheet of paper and cut out leaves for each of them. I'm only gonna do 1 leaf for space reasons. We don't want our paper to be too crowded. And so I've only cut out 3, 1 for each flower. So you can absolutely trace an oval or leaf shape on your green paper and cut that out as well. We'll use those in just a moment. Okay, so the next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna take our stick glue and we're gonna rub some glue on that and glue it on. So what I like is to keep the tallest flower in the middle, but you can do this however you like. So I put my tallest stem in the middle, and it's gonna be glued where it starts at the bottom of the page. That way it's flush with the end of the paper. Okay. My last one, I'm gonna glue on. All right, so there are my stems, and now I get to take my flowers. So you guys make sure that your flowers have been glued on where they're not coming apart. This portion will still be open, and I like that because then it makes it kind of 3-dimensional on your paper. But we want these petals in the front to be glued down so that they're not flying up and falling apart. And so I'm gonna turn my first flower that I've chosen, my yellow, over, and I'm gonna give it a good amount of glue on that back middle portion, okay? And then I'm going to push it down on the top of my first stem. Okay, now purple's my favorite color, so I really want it to be front and center. So I'm gonna take my glue and put it on the back of this purple flower, and I'm gonna press it down really well, maybe for a good 30 seconds or so that it doesn't come off. There we go. And then I'm gonna take my red. We're gonna put this on the final flower down here. Perfect. So as I said, they will still kind of pop up a little bit, and that's okay. That's kind of what we want. We don't want it to be completely flat. And so I already showed you my leaves that I've cut out. What I'm gonna do now is I'm going to take a green crayon, and I like to draw the details on my stem, or excuse me, on my leaves. So I'm gonna draw a line in the middle, and then I'm gonna draw 3 lines coming off of that center line so that it looks more realistic. Okay, and then I'm gonna take the other 2 and I'm gonna do the exact same thing. So with my green crayon, you could use a brown crayon, black. I like the green, but you don't have to stick to the green. Okay. Okay, so all of our leaves are ready. And so what I'm going to do now is I'm gonna come up here to the top of my leaf, and I wanna kind of curl it. Almost like you're rolling it up until you get to the end, and then I'm gonna count to 10 just in my head so that it can kind of begin to curl on its own. Okay, love that. And then this portion down here that does not have the curl, I'm gonna put some glue down here at the bottom, and I'm going to press it down. I still want this leaf to curl up, just like that. How cute is that? Okay, so I'm gonna do the same thing where I curl my leaf in, like I'm rolling it. Okay. Put the glue just at the bottom. I think on this one I'm gonna do it on this side. Okay, oops, almost forgot to curl it. So let's curl it again like you're rolling it. Almost like a sleeping bag or a burrito. And there we go. Turn it over, put the glue on the end. Okay, very good. So from here, first of all, let's admire how cute this is. From here, you can take your crayons and add some extra details. So I think I'm gonna come back in with my green, and I'm just gonna add some sprigs of grass. Super cute. Oh, I love this. So I just added some grass at the bottom. Let's see. I think I'm gonna add, I know clouds aren't blue, but I think I'm gonna outline some clouds in blue just to add another color. And then I'm gonna lightly kind of shade them in. If you've heard the phrase, April showers bring May flowers, we're in April and there's been a lot of rain, but I bet these beautiful flowers are coming soon. And so I'm also gonna add a sunshine. It's just kind of peeking through on this corner with some sun rays. You get to add whatever you want, whatever you like. I'm gonna take my orange and make this a little darker. Perfect. Love it. Okay. And then last but not least, I don't know about you guys, but I have been seeing tons of bumblebees. So I think I'm gonna add a couple of bumblebees. Okay. Let's see if I have a black here. I have a black marker I'm going to use because that's what I had on hand. There's my little bumblebee. How cute! I think I'm going to do one more, maybe flying over here. You could do some butterflies, you could do any kind of extras, birds. There we go. There we go. How cute. I think I'm just gonna come back and make my clouds a little bit darker, just the outline. You could draw a sky if you wanted. Any details you like. Okay, and I think I'm finished. Can't wait to see your origami flower gardens. Comment below with a picture. Have a great week. Bye guys.